this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them today and let them take care of your problems.
Fellow Ambazonians, this is your Vice President. When a handful of people embark on a journey to derail our revolution, while failing in their attempts to fuel the engine with the people's gas reserves, they start shouting and throwing tantrums at something as innocuous as the moon. They look up and see a man in that shiny gas bubble, holding a revolutionary axe, as they struggle to push that almost hijacked revolutionary train without the ability to fuel and take it to another destination. They come to a rude awakening that the man with an axe in the moon is the one whose name has become the household name in this revolution, both to true revolutionaries and revolution busters. Indeed, one will never cease to be amazed by some people's capacity for hyperbole. We will surely stabilize our revolutionary train as we come together each time amidst distractions. Now, we will fuel our revolutionary train to enable it to navigate to its desired destination, because the last word belongs to the God that ordained our revolution. We call on all Ambazonians to join us next Thursday, March 10th to March 13th at the ASSE2 in Washington, so we can collectively grease our revolutionary engine, purge the destructive scum that almost pushed our train off the tracks, and to ensure it gets to its logical destination, which is the seat of our government, Boya. Those good people who got swept away by lies and unconstitutionality must always remember that falling prey to lies is a reversible human fallacy, and one must be bold to make redress, abandon those negative imposters that made one prey to a deceptive beast of destruction. Remember, taking control of one's dark thoughts is an honorable path to redemption. Come back home, my fellow Ambazonians. Let's join our president, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, during the ASSE2 in Washington, D.C. to strengthen our revolutionary construct. My fellow Ambazonians, thank you, and God bless us all.
Fellow Ambazonians, dear countrymen, despite the hike in targeted summary execution of our innocent people by Paul Biya's killer squads, I still believe we are now at the twilight of our political daybreak, emptying the combined worth and wealth of a lifetime fortune into the country of our collective dream.
A place we can surely call home.
At last, my people, the wind of total liberation is sweeping through Ambazonia, our priceless inheritance.
The land of our forebears,
a place we can surely call home.
A few years ago, a vicious dictator declared war on our sovereign nation of Ambazonia. It is a war we did not seek nor provoke, but are determined to muster every strength we can harness and continue sending the message to our enemy that we have risen to call home.
We have paid dues for everything. We pay tax for goods we buy. We pay fuel in our cars. We pay hospital bills and the dues for all other sacrifices.
I can give all I have for the one hope that I have.
Because I hate my CID. I'm nation, proudly Amazonian.
Let's get it straight. The freedom of Ambazonia will not depend on the free will of her enemies.
Independence will be but days away if we get it right with our CID.
My dear comrades, I am appealing to every Ambazonian to register with the CID program.
We have no control over our distorted history, but with our CID, we can set the pace and determine the future of Ambazonia.
Yes, the hope for the future is in our hands. As an Ambazonian, my identity is conclusive. My right is guaranteed. My vote will always count as I play my CID.
As an Amazonian, I will shape the future with my CID.
With your CID of just $10 per month, the interim government is contract to fulfill all that you wish to be done.
Let us build a freedom mansion from the little blood, which is our CID living.
There will be food for everyone, hope for every child, justice for every citizen when we pay our CID levy.
Yes, the dream we can realize with my compulsory independence dues, CID. I have the opportunity to give to the next generation a greater nation, better than we inherited.
Yes, CID program is freedom made easy, freedom made cheap, freedom for Amazonia now.
Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment, so we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com.
Good evening. Welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories only on ABC Amba TV. I am Oni Okmala. We are back with the news. Let's begin. Racist language in the coverage of Russia's invasion of Ukraine will have viewers switching off. The truth is, we need a media we can trust. This is particularly important in times of war. In recent days, I have been worried that some of the media coverage of the Ukraine war is actively undermining the trust in established media organizations, especially among people of color and certain marginalized sections of the audience. Could this actually be the reason why the wars in Africa, with tyrants slaughtering millions, will not enjoy such media coverage? We have seen so in Congo, Chad, in the Central African Republic. We are actually witnessing a genocidal onslaught in the backyard of Africa. That's Amazonia. The former British Southern Cameroon and the post-Rwandan genocide world is watching with tight-lipped and with blind eyes. How is this possible? Well, that's why you now have Undaunted on ABC Amba TV, and we will be bringing into the news untold stories. The past 7 days have been bloody. 4 days ago, the military killed 5 Ambazonia fighters in Alabu camp of Nizam County. In a Kondo city yesterday, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces targeted the convoy of the colonial DO. He died alongside the mayor and 3 others. This morning in Madagascar, Foncha Street, the military shot a bike rider. He also died on the spot, and his passenger survived with several injuries. 5 days ago, a nurse working with a bingo annex was killed by unknown gunmen in Mountain, Bamanda. Remember last week, Ibrahim of Mawa Hotel and his friend were gunned down by a French Cameroon soldier. What a bloody week. It will appear across the national territory of Ambazonia. The heat is on. The Ambazonia Restoration Forces from the northern zone to the southern zone had some successful surgical operations against the forces of occupation. On a very important note, and the fears of the National Treasury, the President of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, calls Ambazonians to stay calm. He once again is telling his people, I am the strategic thinker. So much to expect from ASSC 2. This will be a very vital observation of Undaunted tonight. But first, let's get the prime headlines.
Prime headlines. Racists were reporting undermines trust in media as controversy surrounds the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Ambazonian Restoration Forces firepower hits hard from the northern zone to the southern zone. La République du Cameroon terrorist soldiers kill 4 civilians in Mancon early this week. The Judicial Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia schools Mr. Cometa and his accomplices on the law, constitutionality, and governance. Plot to unseat Dr. Sacco crumbles as Dr. Teeter uses 90 minutes to vindicate self. The Ambazonian Restoration Council is not a political group regulated by politicians, says the president of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sacco.
Racist language and the coverage of Russia's invasion of Ukraine will have viewers switching off. The truth is, we need a media we can trust. This is particularly important in times of war. In recent days, I have been worried that some of the media coverage of the Ukraine war is actively undermining the trust in established media organizations, especially among people of color and certain marginalized sections of the audience. I will explain why I am so worried, but first, I need to state 2 facts. Firstly, that war reporting is one of the toughest assignments any journalist will have during their careers, and that many journalists covering the conflict in Ukraine are doing an incredibly important job under incredibly difficult conditions. Secondly, that we are not human if we do not have sympathy for the victims of the terrible war that is currently being waged by Russia against the people of Ukraine. These 2 facts may seem so obvious and self-evident that they need not to be stated, but I am about to criticize one important aspect of that excellent journalism and discuss the sympathy we need and should have for all victims of war. Let's see how other media has been reporting. Let's start with the BBC. It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed. Ukraine's Deputy Chief Prosecutor David Kasaviv says, CBS News, this isn't Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European city. CBS foreign correspondent Charlie D. Agata says, Al Jazeera of all channels. What's compelling is looking at them, the way they are dressed. These are prosperous middle-class people. These are not obviously refugees trying to get away from the Middle East or North Africa. They look like any European family that you would live next door to. BSM TV France. We are in the 21st century. We are in a European city and we have crews missile fire as though we were in Iraq or Afghanistan. Can you imagine? The Daily Telegraph. This time, war is wrong because the people look like us and have Instagram and Netflix accounts. It's not in a poor, remote country anymore, Daniel Hannan said. ITV UK. The unthinkable has happened. This is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe. BSM TV, France again. It is an important question. We are not talking here about Syrians, please. We are talking about Europeans. To put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from Ukraine. They are Christians. They are white. They are very similar to us, explaining why Poland is accepting refugees. Other stated reasons why the war in Ukraine is the most important in our lifetime may not be as blatantly race-based, but they are certainly, as blinked, more than one professional observer has characterized this as the beginning of a new era where the meaning of cyber warfare extends to what's happening on the ground. This is the first war that will be covered on TikTok by super empowered individuals aimed only with smartphones. So acts of brutality will be documented and broadcast worldwide without any editors or filters, wrote New York Times columnist Todd Friedman. We have never seen this play before, but of course, we have victims of the 11-day war, bombardments in Gaza, caught it all on their phones and posted it on social media. The footage is even made into a documentary, so they know we existed by none other than the New York Times. Same goes for fighting on the ground in Afghanistan, the fall of Kabul, warfare in Yemen. They push records on their phones and upload. Just like us, super empowered. Policy on the ground in Europe reflected the double standard of some press outlets as Ukrainians fled the country, crossing the border into neighboring Poland. Bulgaria's Prime Minister Kirill Petkov said, "These are not the refugees we are used to. They are European, intelligent, educated people. Some are IT programmers. This is not the usual refugee wave of people with an unknown past. No European country is afraid of them." As if to illustrate this point, reports began to emerge that African students fleeing Ukraine from the safety of neighboring countries were being denied entry and even had issues accessing transportation to get to the borders. Unfortunately, in Europe's newest conflict, at least one age-old problem persists: the limits of empathy in wartime are still too often measured by race. The colonial divisional officer for Econdo City local government area, Timothy Abola, the mayor of Econdo City, Nanji Kenneth Ebeko Williams, CPDM section president for Econdo City, Econdo, the colonial gendarmerie brigadier commander for Econdo City, the chief of Bekora, Meg Stanley, driver to the colonial door, and a staffman were killed at about 11:30 a.m. yesterday at Bekora near Love Estate after an improvised explosive device set by the Ambazonia Restoration Forces ARFS exploded. The operation was led by Field Marshal Tenkobo of Econdo City local government area. This Econdo City expedition plus that of Masjay and Bamako local government areas are premonition for gloomy days ahead for the colonial occupier, La République de Cameroon. How can a supposedly trained military consistently kill the civilian population with impunity and post the Rwandan genocide? The world is watching with blind eyes. The genocide in Ambazonia. While the entire world is kind of proactive as Russia invades Ukraine, the Franco-Cameroon occupation forces in southern Cameroon and Ambazonia have more than 35,000 killed within only 5 years, and the world is seemingly silent. Do the lives of Africans really matter in this current world order? God Ellison brings to us details of the killing in Mountain the other day. Let's hear him.
The Ambazonian Restoration Forces AROFs of NOA LGA braved ISIS through Boko Haram Fulani militia sponsored by La République du Cameroun France that came in their numbers over 400 through Nigeria Wednesday, breaking Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. The battle that ensued had lots of mystics involved in such a way that weapons fashioned as such could not penetrate the belligerent fighters on either camp. Failure to apply weaponry pushed the Fulani militia, who were mystically dependable, to catch our AROFs with their mystical charmed hands for slaughter. The AROF's commander for NOA LGA 2, who was mystically well prepared, retaliated by commanding a powerful dusty wind that dazzled the Fulani militia, and they in turn 40 turned into one. Then our AROF's commander used a locally made AK-47 concocted with traditional indigenous charms, and the Fulani militia were now overpowered. This counterforce from the AROFs witnessed 40 of their adversary subdued and neutralized, with all their belongings, AK-47s, bows and arrows, knives, daggers, etc. seized. After overpowering the 40 Fulani aggressors, the ARFs then employed their improvised explosive devices, IEDs, and neutralized the rest, and chased the others, who took to their heels running up to Mayokari, where most of them were neutralized and dumped in Mayokari River. The ARFs shot one local chief on the arm, who was always collaborating with the BIRU. As we report, the internet in Noah LGA is completely cut off. Gab Ellison with field reports from Bush Wanyui.
The Judicial Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia schools Mr. Kumeta Elvis and his accomplices. In a 3 pages official document from the Judicial Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Mr. Kumeta Elvis of the defunct Restoration Council is given a course in constitutional law by seasoned Ambazonian legal minds. From this document, our attention is drawn to the following. 1. Commander is told he does not master the constitution he claims to be implementing. 2. Commander does not know whether he is performing the function of the president of Ambazonia or the function of a chairperson of the Restoration Council. 3. Commander has arrogated to himself the powers of the executive, judicial, and legislative arms of our government. Number 4, Commander's every utterance and action is a succinct and ocular proof of betrayal in our quest. Number 5, Commander's integrity is questionable. 6, every decision of Commander against the Ambazonia people, the interim government, and President Dr. Samuel Ikomesako is useless, null, and void. Why? Because it is unconstitutional and therefore illegal. As we take a look at the document, let's see what it says. Alright, so this is the letter and it reads, Dear Sir, notice has been brought to us of a document purportedly signed on February 24th, 2020 by Mr. Elvis Kumata as chair of the Restoration Council of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. The document titled Communique to the People of Ambazonia is titled as the subject ongoing audit at the National Treasury of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia FRA. The Judicial Council of the interim government wishes to remind Mr. Kometa Elvis in particular and the people of Ambazonia in general that under Article 19, subsection 4A of the interim constitution of Ambazonia, the Judicial Council is the legal advisor to the government and draftsman of the executive branch of government. We note also that the Restoration Council, under whose authority Mr. Kometa Elvis claims to be acting, has its role defined in Article 15, subsection 1. Thus, the Restoration Council shall have A. Advisory function, B. quasi-legislative function, and C. vetting functions. Number 4. The Restoration Council shall, in constitution with the Department of Finance and Economy, determine the fiscal and taxation policies of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. We have not found anywhere in the interim constitution of Ambazonia where Mr. Kometa or the Restoration Council derives the authority to audit the National Treasury of Ambazonia. The order or directive contained therein are therefore constitutional and unenforceable. Article 9, subsection 1b of the interim constitution states, and I quote, "The President shall uphold, defend, and ensure respect and enforcement of the Constitution as the supreme law of the land and the overriding instrument for the governance of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia." In what appears to be absolute grab of power or extraordinary overreach, the document states, amongst other things, first, all funding requisitions for disbursement directed to the National Treasury of the FRA should from the date of signature of this order be directed to the RC of FRA for appraisal and approval. The order is directed to the Cabinet and various government departments counties, local government areas, and technical commissions and committees of the interim government. We wish to remind Mr. Komete that under the interim constitution, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia has this: A. The National Treasury of Ambazonia is part of the Department of Finance and Economy. Like 6 other departments of the IG, is managed by the executive. Articles 8 and 9 of the interim constitution. Articles 10 of the interim constitution is titled Cabinet. 10, subsection 1. The cabinet shall consist of the president and head of the cabinet, the vice president, and 7 secretaries of state in charge of various government departments. B. 10, subsection B. The 7 government departments are: A. Department of Defense and Homeland Security, B. Department of Education, C. Department of Finance and Economy, D. Department of Foreign Affairs, E. Department of Home Affairs, F. Department of Communication and Information Technology, and G. Department of Health and Social Services. In summary, if under Article 10 titled Cabinet, such cabinet is headed by the Chief Executive President, under which provision of the interim constitution does Mr. Komete or the Restoration Council derive the authority to issue the so-called order dated 24th February 2022 referred to above. C. Auditing of government departments, including the National Treasury, is provided for in Article 20 to the Restoration. Okay, see, and there's no line here, so I'll take that to again. C. Auditing of government departments, including the National Treasury, is provided for in Article 22 under the title The Planning and Performance Monitoring and Evaluation Review, PMEB, not to the Restoration Council, RC. And D. The quasi-legislative role assigned to the RC in the interim constitution does not include the day-to-day running of the quasi-legislative role assigned to the RC in the interim constitution does not include the day-to-day running of the different government departments. That is the role of the president, who, as mentioned above under Article 10, is the head of the executive. We wish to further remind Mr. Komete that under the Ambazonia interim constitution, only the president of the interim constitution can issue executive orders having the authority of law, not the chair of the Restoration Council. We urge him and other interested Ambazonians to read Article 9, subsection 2b, that states, and I quote, "The president shall have the powers to issue orders having the force of law and executed as law." Can Komete or anyone else show Ambazonians from what article or part of the interim constitution Mr. Komete or the Restoration Council derived the authority to issue such a far-reaching order? Very interestingly to note that the so-called order does not even have the courtesy to copy the president as an institution. The Ethics and the Judicial Council, however, the author copies the cabinet, the ANC, self-defense, country, regional coordinators, county chairs, and local government areas, none of which is constitutionally under the direct supervision of the Restoration Council. We wish to assure the Ambazonia people that the Ambazonia that we are striving to restore shall be a state of law. For now, the supreme law of Ambazonia remains the interim constitution. The president of the interim government promises to defend that interim constitution. No violation shall be tolerated. By virtue of the foregoing, the order referred to above is unconstitutional, illegal, and void. Signed by Barrister Timothy Mbesha and Barrister Frojan Iso. They are the Vice Chairman, Judicial Commission, and the Chair, Judicial Commission. Plot to unfit circle. Tita vindicates self. In a 90-minute Frank Talk interview on ABC TV with the director cum anchorman Tarpadi, Thursday, March 2nd, 2022, Dr. Tita Emmanuel, the supposed cat bailer for the coup plotters, debunks the evil machination and high-handedness of Saka's haters. Anu Abongwa, commenter et al., and Pontius Pilate washes his hands. Gab Ellison has details. Let us watch.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Tita vindicates himself. For over 90 minutes, he expanded and animated his audience. It was his day, his moment of truth with Tarpadi King. Much ado about nothing, but all summarized as giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it, has been the outcome of all the rantings all over social media and on the fake ABS TV propagated by the dismissed Christopher Anu, a Secretary of State of the interim government, Kometa Abongwa et al., and those the trio has been able to mislead to join them in the smear campaign to evict the most able, dreaded strategist and results-oriented president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, from the helm of the presidency, which he is at his best for now. During this 90 minutes, Dr. Tita succeeded to convince listeners and viewers of his level-headedness and incorruptibility, and as a bona fide Ambazonia still with integrity, he exposed the can of worms being paraded by the trio Anu, Abongwa, Kometa et al. as being nothing more than building an enterprise of hate, which has nothing to do with the Ambazonian quest for freedom. He said the speed at which the trio Anu, Abongwa, Kometa et al. Took through forgery to oust President Sako demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that they had skeletons in the cupboard. The trio Anu, Abongwa, Kometa et al., for the brief moments they tried to woo him take over from Sako, were unable to show him any tangible ocular proof why Sako should be sacked, least alone impeached. He regretted it. He lamented that their deals were shady and shabby and lacked every proper proceeding. Dr. Tita admitted that he was forced to apply the saying, once in Rome, do like the Romans, against his wish, to penetrate the core of this gang in order to win their total trust. Like every falsehood which is built on sand, the coup plotters even went for swearing in, without a Bible, sure proof that even nature was against their evil machinations. And so what God had put asunder, no man or woman can put together. The coup was designed to fail, and long live a free Ambazonia under Sako. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
The Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia Liberation War cripples La Republic de Cameroon big time. But it would appear Cameroon's government is not telling the truth to our citizens. Gab Ellison once more makes a succinct overview of the economic collateral damage the senseless war has caused La Republic de Cameroon. Let's hear him.
La Republic de Cameroon terrorist soldiers in complicity with DDR, Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration Center. Subterfuges have penetrated Ambazonian liberation fighters to cause havoc in LGAs. Inhabitants of Alatako and Alabukam, Mancon LGA got up this fateful morning of March 1st, 2022, as early as 4 a.m. with unexpected visitors, defected boys of LRC DDR Center, now serving as spies, and accomplices haven't taken them this far. This early morning invasion saw 3 innocent boys and a girl being sent to their early graves. It is regrettable that the boys who voluntarily entered La Republique de Cameroon, called under the pretext that they were abandoning the struggle, are now being used as spies and accomplices operating in tandem with the terrorist military, trading La Republique de Cameroon's bloody franc CFA to achieve this. It is alleged and seemingly true that these DDR boys are given sums of the blood money to use and even to convince real fighters to drop their weapons and join them, else be eliminated. Some of the vulnerable groups being used are unemployed bandits, especially free girls, who take money for airtime to call and situate fighters to ease accessibility. Because of these wanton killings, aided by numerous sellouts, spokespersons for the Mankan LGA have warned embezzlers and thieves offering themselves cheap to the enemy, La République du Cameroon, to betray the struggle, to desist or be lynched. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
This is a breaking news. News reached us early this morning that the Ambazonia Restoration Forces subdued Fulani militia in a mystical drill in Uma local government area. Before we go, a recap of our major stories. Today we told you that racist war reporting undermines trust and media as controversy surrounds the Ukrainian and Russian war. Ambazonia Restoration Forces firepower hitting hard from the northern zone to the southern zone. La République du Cameroon terrorist soldiers killed 4 civilians in Macon early this week. The Judicial Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia has called Mr. Commander Elvis and his accomplices. Plot to unseat Dr. Sacco has crumbled.
Don't you hate it when that happens to you? When it does, you need this and this and this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them today and let them take care of your problems.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians, and welcome to this very special news broadcast on Okpala Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I'm sure you enjoyed it. That was a recap of some issues that happened last week, and we thought it was necessary to bring it in this quality to our people. We thought that the peoples of Ambazonia deserve some lessons as to their constitution. It is our duty, like I would tell you all the time, it is the duty of ABC Amba TV to inform you whenever you are misinformed. I understand Ambazonia during this phase of their liberation, I'm talking about the liberation war, the phase of the struggle, has about 4-5 TVs, and only one TV is 100% Ambazonia. I'm talking about style, I'm talking about content, sincerity, and truth. And this is ABC Amba TV. So from time to time, we will come just to also give you information and to debunk. I'm sure you must have seen the flyer of Show Guy roaming out there. By now, you should understand that coup plotters are licking their wounds and crying for their foolishness and stupidity. We're going to go into that. I have just a few minutes to be with you. I want to first of all tell you that our women are backstage. They'll be hosted by Deputy Secretary of Services, Marashe Itatsima, will be hosting them for Women Forum. The women want to tell Ambazonians and the world the need why Ambazonia would have to participate during International Women's Day very differently. That information can better be communicated by these women. And we hope to capture some of their images for the news tonight. By 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Amber time, you will be having, we initially announced 8, but for some reason we might shift it. I'll be back with Mara Shell and Pastor Commando by 8:30, 9. So we might be having the news. We will be having the news, not might. By 10, it's going to intercept our exclusive discussion. By 10 or 11 p.m., you'll be getting full details of the news and the program for this week. But then I'm privy to some information which I would want to give to you really quickly. The program, or the, should I say, a brunch show for the week. The Secretary of State for Communications and IT has given this. I apologize that we have not been able to officially release it to you, but then you are sure going to have it on Facebook or on all our pages one of these days. So just permit me to get across to you. As you already know, ASSC2, the Ambazonia Strategic Conference, the Ambazonia Stakeholders Strategic Conference, begins Thursday. And it begins with an exceptional message that will be coming in from none other but Deacon Tassang. I am privileged to say that Deacon would like me to read that message to you, Ambazonians. I'm grateful. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you. I greatly honor. You must understand that it's an honor to read an article from Deacon Tassang, whom I consider is the father of this struggle. If not of the gentleman arrangement, Deacon Tassang is normally supposed to be the president of Ambazonia in captivity. I'm not sure, based on his wisdom, he would have been picked up in Abuja at the Nera Hotel. So the program that is sent out by Dr. Martin Mungwa, I'll just read it out to you very clearly so that you can follow. It says the meeting schedule Thursday, March 10, 2022, from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Amber time. Opening ceremony. There's a little bit of adjustment. So the Tassang message will come before the president's address to the nation, to the international community, and to Ambazonians. Just before, I want to let you know, tomorrow we'll be having a press conference. I'm yet to confirm if the president will be part of that press conference. There is a workshop streaming. The press conference might be going deep into the night because the Deputy Secretary of State for IT, Oben, is going to be doing some test streaming on how the conference will go with all the committee chairs. And after that, there will be a press conference. I hope to have the press secretary coordinate that segment of it. And myself, Dr. Yaya, Mara Sher, and Pastor Commando will also participate for this press conference. That's tomorrow, Tuesday. The detailed program for the press conference will be out. And then on Friday, let me remind you, Thursday, March 10, 2022, we start with coming from Deacon Tassang. And that message should be, I think, by p.m. Amber time, because the president will be addressing the nation by the president will be addressing the nation by 9 p.m. The president will be addressing the nation by 9 p.m. So the opening ceremony expands right onto 12 midnight. I'm sure 12 a.m. Amber time. That's open ceremony. Friday, you will have Friday, March 11, 2022. 3 p.m. Amber time to 7 p.m. Amber time. You have the Restoration Council Committee that is headed I think I should call it Defunct Restoration Council. Dr. Winnie Lobati is comfortable with that name because she's a woman that understands the law and very principled. She acknowledges the fact that it is a Defunct Restoration Council. The Defunct Restoration Council that is now having a committee to see how it can be delivered from evil practitioners. Winnie Lobati from 3 p.m. Amber time to 7 p.m. There's going to be some kind of discussion and communication to the public as to what that committee is all about. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Amber time, a short break. There will be a short break from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Amber time. The Ambazonia Peace Plan Committee, headed by Dr. Epote, is Professor Epote is an exceptional woman, very insightful. I'm getting really excited already, and I'm looking forward to this conference because it is evident that the face of the struggle will change automatically. From Saturday, March 12, 2022, you have from 3 p.m. Amber time to 7 p.m. Amber time, you have the Constitutional Draft Committee, Barrister Valentine Ghana as chair. We'll have something to talk to Ambazonians. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Amber time, the Resolution Committee by Mr. Steve Nebafu as chair will also be presenting to us some aspects of the resolutions, what has been discussed thus far in the conference. And that is the moment because it gives to us an impression as to the direction where Ambazonia will be heading. From 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Amber time, there will be fundraising and closing, and you have the expert, the woman that the president calls as Queen of Passion, the woman who will even cry to make sure that Ambazonia has resources, the woman who will stake her time, her life, her family, her resources for everything to make sure that Ambazonia has the fuel to move on. And that will be headed by Madame Irene, our guest, with her combi. I know that when you call the word combi, you pay a fine. Her combi Nijo will be a part of it. And the president, as always, is always there to clap for every Ambazonian that gives $1 to make sure that our struggle is moving forward. On Sunday, March 13, 2022, I'm sure I know there's some other activities that are going to take place on that day, but mostly will be departure. Most of the delegates that will be coming to Washington will be departing to their various destinations. This is amazing. Why noise makers are busy licking their wounds, stakeholders are drafting out a strategy and carving a way for victory, calculating none other but Cameroon and beating Cameroon big time. I want to tell Ambazonians, I still have some time. I guess the studio will be giving me about 20 more minutes or so, or even more, so that we can have a discussion. Permit me, I'm kind of casual because I'm working. We are working at the background to get the news, that the current news for this week or for today, the breaking news for today. So I'm just working. I had to do this. It's an emergency. And so we hope that by 9 p.m. Amber time, I'll be back and I'll be dressed like the British man that you want. And I will have with me this exceptional woman, Mani, an exceptional elder sister, and Pastor Commando, who is always there to guide us with his enormous wisdom. So much for us to talk about. You have seen, this is not even something we have to smile about. You've seen a flyer by Show Guy. That's all he knows. How to have a Facebook animation program and talking busted. I want us to look at who actually has been busted. Reflect this very slowly with me, please. Is it a man who duped the ABC Amba TV that they are going to break a lease for the studio? And he had paid for that studio, that's of rent. And then he duped, I think with complicity, I think Gertrude Kisop. Madam Gertrude Kisop. This was done in complicity with her because at the time she was chair of the board. 3 months rent. And we understand that that is the same place where purportedly was supposed to be broken a lease that was rented by ABC Amba TV. That's where ABS is having their TV shows with rents paid by money duped from ABC. This is ABC money duped. A new console that was bought by the board, by Amba, by ABC club members, was also duped. I guess he's assuming in his head that he has taken it by force because he has made statements to suggest that he is unwilling to return them. Why am I saying this? So that you can ask yourself, who is the criminal? You know, empty vessels make the loudest noise. This man came to you a few days ago and was telling you the treasury has been locked. Just to animate vulnerable Amazonians. I tell Amazonians, avoid to sell cheap, to sell vulnerable, avoid to be a part of craziness. You know, I don't like it when Amazonians call Mr. Chris Ano Chris Anos. Yeah, I like his name. He has a beautiful name. His name is Chris Ano, not Chris Anos. But I kind of, when I look the crazy thing, the inconsistency in speech, the frustration to manipulate, to sway Amazonians from the right thing, I kind of feel those who now think that he's a Chris Anos. But I will advise that you just call him Chris Arno. Call it the way I like the way he pronounces his name, Chris Arno. You know, with a baritone, and it's a nice name. But he is acting crazy, very crazy. He is adamant. He has chosen not to read the Constitution. Perhaps he read it and just didn't understand. And you begin to ask yourself, but what the heck? What is happening? How could he have been a communications secretary that does not understand a thing in the Constitution where he was supposed to be communicating? So these are some of the questions that what you ask, and then you try to see why Amazonians are now calling him Chris Anos. It's really unfortunate. Mr. Chris Arno should invest some integrity in himself and learn to tell Amazonians the truth. The first truth he has to come back to tell you is that he has been illegal in all his actions. Now, I understand, I heard from an audio from a mother, Amazonian mother, I respect all Amazonian women, trying to send motion in the craziness of Chris Arno. Not Chris Arno's, please, Chris Arno. Saying that they're going to donate money to get a lawyer or something. You don't start illegality and then get into legality. Why am I saying this? So that Amazonians do not be victims of another fraud. If you raise any money for whatever fee, perhaps that will be used to pay ABS bills, because I know they are facing some financial crisis right now. We have it from intelligence. That is none of our business anyway. And they thought they were going to come after your TV, you know, and they didn't even know how to use a corrupt method to get the TV. You see, I call them amateur coup plotters because these are people whom you expected should behave intelligently, but you really see foolish actions. You saw the charade that took place in London. It was a nursing school graduation was better than that. And that is what, come on, I can't phantom this. That is what some folks want to call an inauguration. That is a love. That is, if not, and Yaoundé enjoys such stupidity, you know that, right? Yaoundé likes it because it makes, but we that believe in the Constitution, we that believe in the law, we that have chosen to think beyond a TV show, understands that we cannot be a part of that shame. You see, I want to repeat this. The president of the Federal Republic of Amazonia has never, ever denied an election. He said, I will not participate in a fraudulent election, in an illegal, unconstitutional, because I want to make history as the one who stands on the side of legality. We cannot be fleeing from Yaoundé, where Bia sits in the night and is giving mitumba. If you don't know mitumba, don't worry. That's a regular meal. I'm sure people in the south and the Bafias, they eat it with, maybe he eats some baton, babalo, whatever you want to call it, and some poisson pressé from Carrefour Obeli, and then gets up in the morning and changes the constitution and then just does anything and signs a stupid decree. Changes and makes himself whatever. That is not the nation Dr. Sacco is building. It is a nation that has a constitution and that we will understand our constitutions and we will respect them. We will uphold our own laws. I used to believe that Sango Louis Etongwe was a man of integrity. He's an intelligent man. But you know, there is a difference between intelligence and wisdom. He has demonstrated for himself, I'm not the one saying it, that he has zero wisdom. If not, how come he could not even interpret to Kometa after he came to ABC Amba TV, acknowledge the fact that there was a constitutional overreach? You had the vice chair of the Defunct Restoration Council came on this platform and acknowledged the fact that Kometa's declaration on the day of inauguration was unconstitutional, uncalled for, was illegal. How on earth were these gentlemen unable to advise Kometa? Because I know he read the constitution and did not understand. And unfortunately, he also has been compromised. So ignorance and arrogance combined together has created chaos. And that we will have to employ extreme measures to correct them. The purpose of my discussion, as I round off, I have about 17 more minutes. Yes, I have about 17 more minutes, is to make Amazonians to understand, stop being animated by nonsense programs. You following programs you're not supposed to even watch. You see, the Bible says that guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. Because you have to choose what you listen to. How do you dance with a bush doctor or a witch doctor and then wonder why demons feature in your dream or you have nightmare? There are some TV shows. I just come back to react to it because some people say, okay, this is what this man is saying. So I am trying to use this ABC Amba TV platform, which is the only platform that is there that talks to Amazonians the way it should, to have you educated. But you should stop listening to a man who is inconsistent, a man who doesn't even know what he's saying. He says they're going to take a treasury that they stopped donating in the treasury for months. This man started campaigning last year, telling Amazonians, hey, listen, do not put your money in the national treasury. Now he thought in his mind that he was going to use a few following on Facebook to campaign against a strategist. But the strategist, President Sacco, within just about 2 nights, grouped stakeholders just a few days ago and raised about 50,000 US dollars. And as I speak to you, these people keep donating. They are just excited in this vision. They're excited. You see, ABC Amba TV has a new studio that is 2 times better than what we gave to Chris Arnold, and he took it for a one-man show. And the club members, kudos to you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you. Thank you so very much for passionately giving. They gave the money within 1 week. And they said, just forget about Chris Arnold. Let's get a new studio. They opted for the new studio and they paid for it. These are stakeholders, not noisemakers. Thank you. I want to especially say a big thank you to all the ABC club members. And they are donating this money when coup plotters have chosen not to donate. And then coup plotters, this is funny, you know. It's disgraceful. I'm beginning to think if this man was my father, how I feel about it, it's funny. You want to take a treasury that you campaign for money not to be there. Why are you coming to hijack a treasury you told people on your TV that it is empty? If the treasury is actually empty, why are you crazy? Crazy about this? Oh God. You see why I kind of feel those who call this man Chris Anus? But please, I'll advise that you call him Chris Arnold. He is Chris Arnold. I like even the way he pronounces his name. He's not Chris Anus. He said just a few days ago that the treasury is empty. So why interested in an empty treasury? That's a question. It's a question. What's your business in a treasury that is empty? Listen, Amazonians have opted that they're going to fund the vision of President Sako, and they are doing so. For those of you can now become presidents. You can now have your groups. Just present your vision. You said you have the majority, right? Let the majority group themselves together and fund your vision. You see, I also want to talk about Kamara. I've spoken about him about twice or thrice on TV. And I think also Kamara is a young leader coming up. And he's an intelligent man, but acting a little bit foolish. Foolish because he has outrightly shown his support for Marianta. I understand affiliation, my country person. Maybe that's it, but that's foolish. I have family members right now who have a contrary political opinion of mine. Some of you know them. I'm talking about blood brothers. Direct relations. Some are in support of ADF. And I am completely disinclined to them. And they know I have my stand. So I cannot be supporting nonsense because of affiliation. Maybe because you were my girlfriend or my sister. You understand what I'm saying? So Kamara, you have to understand Dian County has no money even in the treasury. This is a county that has been depending most on the benevolence of the treasurer, of the central treasury, this basket and some, you know what I mean. That's aside their draft that was not a success as it should be because of the involvement. Now you understand those individuals that were making that county not to function. We are hoping that come ASSC2, that county should be revamped. It is not Kamara's county. And by default, taking that decision, I think that is the government has not officially made a statement, but by default, Kamara should not be county chairs of chairs. The chairs got to vomit him out. Expected as a young man, he should not follow the site of buffooneries. You know, some activists are now confusing activism to buffoonery. Now they get on a platform, they don't. I am challenging them again for the second time. I'm asking the activists to go and read the Constitution. And if you contest Tapa, the king's opinion, invite me on your platform. Let's have an open debate. Don't go and talk trash. Let's have a debate on the Constitution so that we can educate Ambazonians. I want to talk a little bit. There's an intelligence, I'm still investigating it from the ground and from some experts about what I already told you. I'll be bringing intelligence information just to add to what I told you. I told you that whatsoever called unity is a fraud. It is a mask. It is a remix of rooftop by rooftop jargon that was made in Norway. It failed before. It will fail today. It will forever fail because it was initially founded it was created or constructed or improvised or whatever you want to call it, or conceived from a rock foundation. I say this authoritatively because this is something that has happened. It has pre-existed. Now talk to me. What is there to show for when you want to talk about the unity warriors? Unity warriors have two achievements. Number one, they have sacrificed Ambazonian restoration forces, close to 20 of them. Number two, they're now attacking Ambazonian restoration forces. Who are they? Now, I don't need to call names here. You can look at the handwriting on the talk to me. What and who are they working for? Who has a trademark to do that? We've seen Dr. Sako with Lava Storm 1, 2, and now 3. Exploding military ships in Ambazonia. Changing the ground game big time. And we have seen what they have done. In alliance with La République du Cameroon. Now they remix it. After they know Ambazonians have discovered the fraud, then they want to. What is the unity you're talking about? I'm talking to my brothers. I don't like talking about defense forces because I've lost brothers in this war. So I know what it means when you stake your life to fight for nation. I know what it means. But and the sad part of it is that some folks in the diaspora and on the ground, some of the forces on the ground are they just want to collaborate with their fellow brothers. But criminals have hooked up a plan to take us to Yaoundé. And then they caption it, unity. It sounds so good. How different is it from Ayijo's unity in 1972? President Ayijo just got up one day with the help of France, made France control it by himself with his own constitution and whatsoever, and said, listen, from this day onward, there is no existence of a federation. The two states of equality, and then he makes a good speech. You know, these guys are good in making speeches. They can do a good speech. If you watch it, I happen to be doing a research on this. When you listen to the speech of Ayijo after the Fumban conference, you feel that something good happened. But it was, we now see a people fighting today because a seed of evil was planted. Listen to me. The unity warrior concept is a fraud. Ambazonian restoration forces to stay away from it. It's a fraud. I understand that some disgruntled individuals. I have a lot of respect for this gentleman, Prince J. Carl. He's a disgruntled person. I want to believe that after now, he's going to change his narrative of what he calls the unity warriors. When you start uniting on the ground, foolishness. I also know he doesn't understand some things accurately. I understand that we understand the constitution or comprehend it or interpret it from different levels. But you have to get this straight. The unity warrior, unless your communication with Cho Ayaba was an alliance. If not, I'm expecting that you have to denounce whatsoever you're calling the unities. The Ambazonian Restoration Forces were perfectly united with the Amba Peace Plan. Whoever told you that the Amba Peace Plan divided them? Field Marshal from Lebialem will call for backup out of Lebialem. He called and spoke with all the fighters. That was unity. A plan that gave a way for us to be able to monitor what is happening, for us to be able to see, control infiltration. And some guys want to come and tell you about a soul. Come on, by their fruits you shall know them. Forget about it. I felt a lot of pain last night when Commander Muha was killed by an Ambazonian. That is not right. It should not happen. Ambazonians cannot pick up weapons against Ambazonians. It is unheard of. It is unheard of. I'm talking to some of you. You're my younger brothers. Some of you are my elder brothers. I appreciate your bravery. I encourage you. The reason why some of us think that we can stake our face is because we know that you carrying the bullet, you're doing a sacrifice. Be sensible. Do not allow warlords in the diaspora, fraudsters, to put you in a fraudulent unity warrior setup, and your life will be wasted. Some of them were also hoping that they will hijack a treasury. They cannot. It is not Dr. Sacco that ejected them. The American law has ejected them. And I'm giving this as an advice for some of those who are thinking that Mr. Arnold, in his craziness, has some legality or can do something. You might be going into a pit with them. There's a wise saying that if you find yourself in a pit, instead of trying to dig, just look for a way to climb up. I'm advising those who are now finding themselves in a pit with Chris Arnold. With Chris Arnold. Start climbing up. You cannot be following a blind man or a man who cannot see for himself. He looked at the Constitution, did not understand it. That you can host a program on TV doesn't mean you can lead a struggle. Get this straight. A department was more than him. He messed it up. The only thing he had, Anchorman, he went with it and started his TV. That is his only achievement. History has it. Fellow Ambazonians, my dear brothers and sisters, it is a pain when we lose our own. This week, we're talking very lavishly on the ASSC and the purpose for it. I have just 2 more minutes to get out of this platform. And I'm talking to you right now. I'm saying that look up to ASC. The program on Thursday is going to be for the general public. And so you can participate. I'm sure it will be streamed. I don't know. We're going to wait for the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia to give us instruction if he wants us to stream it live. But definitely, whatever is best for the nation, I believe the President will say so. And I want to remind you, you must have seen a handbill of a t-shirt, a beautiful t-shirt, good quality, produced in Philadelphia in the United States of America. It will be available for all Ambazonians to put on tomorrow. You can make your copy. You can contact ABC Amba TV. You have our numbers, and you will be told how It is only $50. $50. All club members will have it shipped to them for free. If you're a club member, ABC Amba club member, Amba TV club member, it will be shipped to you for free. If you're a board member, it will be shipped. Not a board member, yes, a board member, it will be shipped for free. All government officials are obligatorily will have a t-shirt. All stakeholders of the conference obligatorily will have. All officials of this conference will obligatorily have a t-shirt. I'm made to understand that the sales are very fast. That's what the person in control is telling me. A lot of Ambazonians are already paid for their t-shirts, and only about 100 t-shirts are left. After the conference, we're going to do a reprint of some t-shirts that have the logos and some writings and maybe the monuments of Ambazonia. That will be done cheaper and it will be sold worldwide via ABC Amba TV. But first, for this conference, it was done in a rush, and that's why it's a little bit on the high side for some people, maybe out of the United States of America and Europe. But then it is cheap for all those in America based on quality and shipment and all of that. So get your t-shirts. The president wants you to look beautiful, really very beautiful, as you participate for the conference. Gallivant with it, animate the world with it, enjoy it. And on that note, I think I should be concluding now because I have to go back to the newsroom. We're having an interesting time getting the news together. It is live. I think between 8, 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. I'll also be live at that time, properly presenting myself with Mani. That is Mara Share. You all know her. She's a fabulous woman, very fluent, very passionate, very revolutionary. And she's coming right now. As I leave this platform, you'll be having Mani hosting Dr. Patience. So you know, tomorrow is a national lockdown. The Amazonian Restoration Forces have been duly informed. No fly should go out. A national lockdown. Ambazonia is not celebrating the Rock as mastermind in Yaoundé, the what you want to call Women's Day. It's not an honor for our women to celebrate that day. It is an honor for them to remember those who have been our sisters who have been raped, our mothers who are now widows, our wives who have lost husbands, and mothers who have lost children. And we think that the international community should observe our celebration of these days differently. We're not going to participate in any celebration. On that note, it's been Tapa the King. I want to say bye-bye. Good night. I'll be right back. Stay tuned with ABC Amba TV.